Most people are absolutely butchering this exercise. And if you're someone who's feeling some knee pain or you're feeling super unbalanced during your split squats, well, you're probably one of them. Today, I'm going to show you how to master your barbell Bulgarian split squats. Find the perfect foot placement, feel super comfortable doing this movement, and stick around because if you're not quite there yet or you're not super confident with this exercise, I'm going to even show you some helpful regressions that will help you build your way up to the perfect barbell Bulgarian split squat. Now this movement is difficult, so why even bother doing a Bulgarian split squat? Well, it's one of the best bang for your buck exercises. Why? Because it targets both your quads, your hamstrings, your hips, hip stability, core control, balance, coordination, and being a single leg movement, it's great at sorting out any imbalances that you might not catch in one of those big bilateral compound movements like a squat or a deadlift. And a bonus tip, if you are hitting a plateau on those big lifts, your back squats and your deadlifts, adding in some Bulgarian split squats into your program might be just the kick you need to help bring that number up. All right, so let's talk about the setup for the Bulgarian split squat and the foot placement, of course. So first off, you're gonna need your bench, you're gonna need your barbell. A lot of people struggle with the setup. If you're too close, you might find yourself doing one of these and then coming right up in the toe with the heel lifting off the ground. Or if you're way too far out front, you might be doing this crazy hinge movement. So for a traditional Bulgarian split squat, the best way I find to find your foot placement is by taking a seat on your bench or your box, whatever you're using, fully extending your leg, kicking your heel out to the side ever so slightly just to create a more stable width through your hips. And then from there, you'll see I go flat on this foot, back foot goes onto the bench. You want laces down. You can roll in if you need to, but try to get as much support through this foot as you can. It might take a little time with that plantar flexion. And then from here, you're just gonna drop that back knee all the way down to the ground. So you wanna get as deep as you can. As you can see here, my knee is pretty much above my ankle, maybe a little forward, and then just squeeze through. So now I've found a nice good position where I can get that full range of motion. Not too narrow, I'm not too wide. So that's your setup. So remember, sit down, kick foot out, flat on foot, back foot on bench, down. So now I just need to add the barbell into that movement. So as always, we're gonna set our barbell up similar to how we would for a back squat, about chest, armpit height. Hands just outside the narrow. Brace your core, shoulders back and down, press up, take your steps back towards your bench. Remember where that foot placement was. And remember, everyone's a little different, so really play with your foot placement, find what works for you, and then you can go into it from there. So now just gently balancing, I'm gonna find that bench, make sure I have my feet at least hip distance apart, foot's on the back bench. Now I'm just gonna do the same motion, letting that back knee travel down to the ground, driving up to the front foot. Remember, about 80% of your weight should be in this front foot. That's where the work is coming from. All the way down, push up through the center of that front foot. Stay on that leg for the prescribed numbers of reps. Then you can take a little break in between. Then go back into it on the opposite leg for whatever the prescribed numbers of reps are. As you feel confident with that weight, you can build and increase over time. Try various variations, front rack, back rack, dumbbells, etc. The world's your oyster. Now let's quickly go over some common mistakes when doing the Bulgarian split squats. So we already know if our stance is too wide, we're gonna be going into that hinge. If it's too narrow, we're gonna be coming up into our toe and letting that heel raise off the ground. But what else might we do that's wrong? Well, knee cave is a big one. So just like on your squats, you don't want your knee caving on this movement. So I'll just demonstrate. With the barbell on my back, finding my foot placement. Everything's correct so far, but then when I come down, if I let this knee cave inwards, that's gonna cause a lot of pain. Not very nice. So remember, drive that knee out. Feel nice and stable through your hips. Another common mistake, letting that back knee slam into the ground on each rep. So we want nice controlled, light tap, and drive up. Another common mistake, overarching through that back. Putting too much pressure through the spine, or doing the opposite and letting the chest cave during each rep. So think just like a squat, nice squeeze of the glutes. All right, so like I said, let's go over some regressions because this barbell Bulgarian split squat may be too advanced for you. Maybe you can't even do a split squat yet, and that's completely okay. It's a difficult movement and we all have to start somewhere. So first things first, if I was just starting with split squats, maybe I don't have that support yet through a single leg. Find a pole or some assistance, a countertop, guide yourself down through nice, slow, and controlled reps. Once that starts to feel stable, you can take away a little bit of that stability and use something like a ring to guide yourself down. And don't forget, you can always reduce the range of motion as well. So say you're finding that bottom position really difficult. On these assisted ones, you can start with something like a yoga block or even 2 yoga blocks to reduce that range of motion and make it slightly easier. Then over time, as that gets stronger, try a couple weeks there. Next thing you know, you're doing with 0 assistance, but you still have maybe a reduced range of motion. Then the next step would be kick that out of the way. Let's go for a full range of motion split squat. Remember, we're still keeping all of those cues going on here. My knee's going out slightly. 80% of the weight is in my front foot. I'm not doing a curtsy lunge. I'm making sure I'm about hip width apart so my hips have nice space to travel through and I'm good and grounded. Then from there, you can slowly progress these variations with weight. And once you're feeling good and stable, you can start to raise that back foot up onto a bench. Maybe something not this high yet. Maybe use a little bit of a lower box or a barbell in the rack. But same thing, you're just going to control through body weight. Then over time, you progress this by adding maybe dumbbells by the sides, maybe a dumbbell in the front loaded position. As you can see, there are loads of variations, but do what you feel comfortable. Master one variation before moving on to the next. And if you need help finding the perfect prescription for you and a nice guided program with some accountability, don't forget to get in touch. All the details are in the description below. All right, thank you so much for tuning in today, team. I hope you found that video useful. If this is helping with your split squats, definitely do me a favor and let us know by giving us a big thumbs up below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future updates and more videos geared towards what you want to see. And if anything here didn't quite make sense, or if there's something you have a question about, feel free to get in touch or just leave it in the comments below and I will get right back to you. But until then, enjoy your training and we will see you on the next one. Bye. No. That was bad. Do you think it was clear enough about how to find your foot placement?
Very clear.
Good and simple. The Bulgarian split squat. No, we're gonna start over. We're gonna do the whole thing.